Hello, my name is KaJuan, but you can call me Khaos or Mr. Let's Talk About It. Mr. Friday night, you see me on the mic. You can call me Yee Yee. And here's an outpour of my story. My coming out story was really interesting, right? So check this out. I was 14 in years 2007. Boom, you got my age. So my mom's a lesbian too. So it was this summer. I'm going into high school. I'm in 8th grade. I'm ready. I already know that I'm gay. I've been knowing I was gay since forever. I knew in kindergarten that I like guys. But this year, I felt like, growing up in Detroit, it's really rough. So in elementary school, you get teased, he gay, he gay, he gay. Middle school, he gay, he gay, he gay. I'm like, so when I go to high school, if I just be like, I'm gay, they can't tease me. So I'm like, all right, cool. I meet these lesbians along the way. They really cool. Their moms are lesbians as well. So I'm like, your mom cool with you being gay? They cool? Yeah. I'm like, I should tell my mom. So I told my mom and her girlfriend of 15 years, they were having a conversation. And they were talking about the people that they knew that were gay. So I slid in like, oh, okay, y'all some people that's gay. Did y'all know I was gay? They were like, yeah, like, kind of brushed it off. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm good. I'm going to gay pride. It's nothing, I'm going. So being gay in Detroit is definitely different than being, like right now, we're filming in Atlanta. It's okay to be gay in Atlanta. It's free. New York City, it's okay to be gay. Los Angeles, it's okay to be gay. In Detroit, if you're walking down the street holding hands with a guy, you're going to get a look back. Depending on where you go, you might get jumped on. So you got to have a tougher skin. That's just how it is in Detroit. We're working on that, and I think the way that we break those stigmas and those stereotypes is we have to keep being us. You have to fight for those type of things for people that are in the community to be seen and stand up for who you are. Me right now, I would like to think of myself as an LGBT activist because I live in my truth. There is no hiding me being gay, and I won't want to. And I think a lot of times people just aren't around it. When we use terminologies like, oh, he a fag. You may not have been corrected by saying it. You may have just heard your sister say that, your auntie say that. You always hear that. But if one of your friends was gay, you would say something like, "Hey, don't call me no fag," or you would talk about that. So let's talk about the HIV, the work, the activism, how it all started. So I was listening to this Pandora commercial, and it was while I was having sex. The commercial was very scary. It was very dark, and I'm like, if they want people to get tested, they need a different type of approach. They need a different type of approach. Now, being gay, growing up in Detroit, a lot of my friends are living with HIV, and I've had to take them to get tested. And the experience is when you know about HIV, you become knowledgeable around it. You understand that it's a manageable disease. It's a manageable virus. You can live with this virus. But that's not what the commercial portrayed. The commercial was like, it was just really scary. So I ended up making this video, and I'm like, yo, if you want people to get tested, you need to let them know that they can live with this virus. It's not the end all. It's not 1985. You can live with this. So I'm like, we need to tell more people about this because I feel like people are already scared to get tested. And so the reason why they're scared is because that's what's being pushed in the media. To be scared, you're going to die. So you just rather not find out. So I'm like, we need to take a different approach. And then so once I made this video, it kind of went viral, got like 10,000 views. I'm like, yo, I'm pretty good at this. So I started making more videos, ended up connecting with the agency. Shout out to Status Sexy. We did a video together and I started working for the agency. One thing led to another. 2020, I'm a CDC ambassador for HIV. Shout out to the Let's Stop HIV campaign together. And that's pretty much how that happened. So it's always been really important to me because I never have liked the approach to get people to have safe sex. Because when we say safe sex, we always think of condoms. We have now PrEP. We have untransmittable, undetectable. So there's all of these different ways to be safe, and I want people to know about them. It's been really important to me. I'm going to be really honest. Let's talk about why the rates are so high amongst Black men, people of color, why the numbers are so high. I believe that, first off, a lot of people aren't able to get to their medications. We're talking about resources. A lot of times, I think it even goes deeper into self-care. So I think a lot of our black men probably feel like it's so much going on in the world right now, especially right now. We're going through a pandemic. We're still going through issues that we've dealt with in 1963 with it being difficult for us just to be black men. So a lot of times it goes to self-care. You know what? I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. So what feels good to me? What feels good to me is drugs. What feels good to me is sex. And if someone tells you that they love you and that they really care for you and they want to have unprotected sex, you're more willing to do it because you don't care and you're looking for that type of care. So a lot of times I think it's that we need to start, well, the question was, why are the numbers so high? So I think a lot of young black gay men don't care about themselves. They lack confidence, they lack self-love, and so they're looking for it in all type of different places. And whatever feels good, they're leeching onto that. I'm actually working on a project right now to kind of talk about these cycles that I think that we go through. You know, I was fortunate to have a mother who loves me and taught me a lot of different things. But when we talk about HIV, I relate that to so many other things. It happens in this cycle. You know, you grow up and you're dealing with being gay. So then you may possibly get kicked out of your house. Then you get into the lifestyle of being gay. Once you get into the lifestyle, you're introduced to how are you going to survive? So are you going to survive? You're going to do sex work? Are you going to scam? Whichever one. Now you're dealing with this lifestyle, you're dealing with these hustles. And this isn't everyone's story, but this is a story that is normally told. It's told a lot. So I just want to be honest with you all. You're dealing with these lifestyles. So you're doing sex work or are you scamming? Which one? Now you have to deal with this lifestyle. So how are you going to manage this? How are you going to cope with this, right? So then you possibly get into drugs. You get into drugs. What does drugs make you want to do? You want to get horny. You want to have sex. Now, you're not thinking clearly when you're using these drugs or you're drinking this alcohol because you're already coping with the pain you experience from your family or just coming up. So now you're probably more willing to have unprotected sex. Or you may be even DL. So you just want something quick. You want something fast. You don't got time for a condom. You don't got time for no lube. So you're just getting it in. So when you in this cycle and you in this lifestyle, things go kind of fast. But I feel like if we were taught to love ourselves more, know that we were worth more, we wouldn't make those fast decisions. One of my proudest moments in my advocacy work is this ad that I did, and it was called Put the Head In. And it's proud because my approach to advocacy work is a little bit different. I'm very risky, very, very sexual because I'm catering to a demographic that looks like me and that does the things that I do. So I'm freaky. I know what it's like. So this ad was Put the Head In. Now, Put the Head In is meeting up with this guy. We go to a hotel room. It's really, really hot. And you know when you in the moment, you kissing and you get in there and they be like, yo, let me just put the head in. Now, this is a universal thing. Girls have had guys say put the head in. Gay guys, everyone has heard this, let me just put the head in. And you already know if you put the head in, you in there. So I went into my conscience. I was an angel and I was a devil. And the angel decided that, you know, you should just wear a condom. The condom is going to protect you from everything. That's what you should do. And then the devil said, well, you're already taking PrEP. You're good. Just let them go in raw. But we all know that PrEP only protects you from HIV. Now, what made me proud about this was the response that I got from my audience. People loved it. They related to it. Sometimes do I feel defeated as an activist? I think that's a great question. A lot of times I do. Sometimes I wonder, does the roles that I play, do they clash? Because yes, I'm an activist, but then also I'm a person who wants to be a media correspondent. And then also I'm in the ballroom scene. So sometimes I wonder, am I being too sexual? Does my activism, does it come off as professional or does it come off as just being a slut? I'm not sure how people perceive it sometimes. So it's hard. Sometimes I do feel defeated, like, you know what? I don't know which lane to go in, but it's always important to remember what I'm doing and who I'm speaking to and my audience and have that type of connection because it gets through to people. In my activism, I like the approach of being sexy. I feel like people pay attention to things that are sexy. People pay attention to things that are provocative. It makes you want to look. If you can grab a person, that's what you want to do. We're trying to get people knowledgeable around safer sex, right? So we need to talk about sex. How are we going to do that without them hearing a lecture or wear condoms? Put some sexy shit in their face and let them see it. Let them take them to the moments where they make these bad choices. So I like to put on something sexy. And yes, I have been critiqued about that. Like, it just looks like you're promoting yourself or you're just being too sexual. You're over sexualized, all these different things. But these things are happening. People are just putting a head in. People are having unprotected sex. Why not tell them about PrEP? that they don't have to wear a condom. Yes, it may not protect you from everything else, but some people have already made that decision that they just don't like condoms. Let's let them know about undetectable, untransmittable. Let's let people know about that and what that looks like. And let's take them to the spaces in which they are in. Meet them where they are at. But I have my own internet show called the Let's Talk About It Show, where I do street talks. I talk about things that are going on. My podcast just got on Apple Podcasts, so I'm excited about that. That came about from the advocacy work. So it all kind of stemmed together. And sometimes I'm like, is it all clashing? But it came about from me just kind of being real and having these conversations and talking to my people, which are in the community. But then I like to talk about music. And then I also like to get people to tell their stories, because I believe that if we help each other, we share our stories, right? If I'm going through something that you're going through, but you've already been through it, and you tell me how you got through it, that's how we help each other. But a lot of times we feel like we should keep these things a secret, when really we can help somebody overcome their issues too. So that's how the show came about. And so a lot of times I'll ask one question and I'll go on the streets and ask a lot of people the same question to see, just to show how different we are, but really how much of the same we can be. Doing this work, doing advocacy work and talking about HIV, but then also wanting to be a media broadcaster has come together. It's come together perfectly. Sometimes I'm afraid that people may not see my vision and what I want to be or what I want to do. So that's been kind of difficult to me. But the work, it all falls together, because it's still a conversation. It's still something to talk about, whether it be safe sex or whether it be music, whether it be an interview with someone who's been doing drugs and now they're not doing drugs anymore. It all goes into the show. I think one of my favorite shows, and it got one of the best responses ever, was me opening up and talking about when I got evicted, because it was a very honest show, very truthful show, and a lot of people were able to relate. And I helped a lot of people, and a lot of people responded back like, I cannot believe you told that, but I went through that too. It's always that moment of, I've been through that. I love to share those type of stories. A video that I thought would do well, that did not do well, was this video that I interviewed this lady, and I interviewed her about why she was a white woman. I asked her, why does Black Lives Matter? And her response was so good. It was everything that why we feel Black Lives Matter. She went along to say that it's not about being Black Lives Matter. I want to show you guys this clip. I'm going to show it to you. Here, check it out.
Black lives are under attack. Obviously, all lives matter. We know that. But white people aren't getting killed by the police. And Black lives are under attack, so why would we not fight for them? Everybody who thinks all lives matter, they're missing the point. Because when they say that, they don't really mean that. People saying that, they don't give a fuck about gay people. They don't give a fuck about Muslims at all. They're saying that because they feel excluded from the movement.
Yeah. And then a video that I did that I didn't think would get the response that it got, I just thought, like, we're just going to do this because it's a cool trick. I had showed people how to put on a condom with their mouths. And so I just did this video, and it got all of these views and all of these comments. I didn't think that it would get the response that it did, but it did. So when you're creating content, you never know what's going to pop. I think for content creators, it's important to keep pushing your content, because it's really easy to get defeated, and you're always wondering, I should be here, I should be there. But it's really important for you to perfect your craft and keep working on it. The ballroom scene. How did I get into the ballroom scene? The way I got into the ballroom scene, there's this really cool center. I was in high school and I was at this place called Affirmations, and I was doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, voguing. And the House of Escada, they had some people that were in the house, and this guy named Reality, he's still my gay father to this day. Shout out to him. He was like, you should come to the bars. I'm like, no, my mom already told me about that. I'm not going. People be getting cut. They be fighting. It be a lot. I'm God. But he was really, he kept pressing me like, you need to be in it. You're great. You should do it. I'm like, okay. He was like, I'm going to buy everything for you. Boom. I was in it. I was in it. When he said it, I was in it. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So I went to this first ball, and I did my dance, and I won. And then I came back. I was in the House of Escada. I came out in the house. I came back. They chopped me. Then they chopped me again. And then, I just kept practicing. And then I was in the ballroom scene. Once I got in it, I've been in the ballroom scene since. I'm legendary in the ballroom scene, so that's a long time. I've won $1,000 about 7 times. I love the ballroom scene because it teaches you to be tough. The competition, just being turned away. The ballroom scene really reminds me a lot about life, and I'm going to tell you why I say that. Queens are vicious. Gay men can be vicious. So when you're going up and you're being judged in front of all of these queens who are already going to look at you like, what you come here to do? Why are you here? And you have to show them. And so when you show them, you make them know it. So I vogue. So it's always about me letting you know, bitch, I'm better than you. Or I can do this, I'm worthy of this category. And I think a lot of times in life it's to show, bitch, let me show you what I can do. You guys can follow me at Khaos Talks on Instagram, and please follow my podcast, the Let's Talk About It Show, and follow me on YouTube, the Let's Talk About It Show as well. I'm KaJuan, Khaos, Mr. Let's Talk About It. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's what you gotta know, okay?